Have you ever wondered about the most expensive horses in the world? Owning a horse is already expensive, but some horses fetch astonishing price tags that surpass even the most luxurious cars and airplanes. Today, we discover the top 16 most expensive horses ever sold, and be amazed by the incredible sums of money involved. Let's dive in and explore the extraordinary world of these highly valued horses.
Moon and the Eagle, $2.1 million. Quarter horse Moon and the Eagle sold at the 2018 Heritage Place Fall Mixed Sale. This racing quarter horse stallion set a record auction price of $2.1 million. He was a champion racehorse who had won 10 of his last 14 career starts. Along the way, he set 2 track records. Remington Park, 440 yards at 20.808 seconds, and the 440-yard track record at Hialeah Park at 21.192 seconds. Moon and the Eagle also had a successful career as a sire. Clavius, $9.2 million. Clavius is a racing thoroughbred owned by the Vice President of the United Arab Emirates, who paid $9.2 million for it. The gelding won approximately $41,000 in its career and was in 13th place in its last race. His career record included 2 wins, 3 places, and 2 shows only. Jaleel, $9.7 million. One of the most expensive horses of all time was Jaleel. This racehorse was sired by Stormcat and was foaled in February 2004. Sheikh Mohammed bought Jaleel for $9.7 million on behalf of the Godolphin Racing Operation. His official racing career started in 2006 after being trained by Saeed bin Suror in Europe. His first race was at the age of 2. And after a short but successful career of 2 years until 2008, he was retired. Snaffy Dancer, $10.2 million. Snaffy Dancer was a thoroughbred racehorse, so he was destined to be expensive. But that $10 million price tag was still somewhat surprising. Bidding started at $1 million before quickly reaching $3 million just 10 seconds after the auction started. According to someone familiar with the auction, Sheikh Mohammed bid on Snaffy Dancer because he was the, quote, best-looking horse for sale. Incredibly, Snaffy Dancer never actually raced. That's a big deal when it comes to ultra-expensive racehorses. As it turns out, Snaffy Dancer just wasn't great at racing, so the owners decided not to enter him in any competitions. Morelands Tortillas, $10.6 million. Dutch warmblood Morelands Tortillas was a dressage horse who attracted a lot of attention and a lot of money during his career. Tortillas was known for his exceptional movements and his striking black coat. This made him a sought-after horse for both dressage competitions and demonstrations. In 2010, Paul Schachmuhl, along with German dressage rider Matthias Raff, purchased Tortillas for a record-breaking price of 9 million euros. This made Tortillas the most expensive dressage horse in history. While some criticized the high price tag, others saw it as a sign of dressage's growing popularity and profitability. Tortillas died in 2020 at 20 years old as a result of severe colic. Pedron, $11 million. Beautiful Arabian horse Pedron was a renowned show horse in halter. He was the Canadian national champion stallion at halter in 1981, and followed that up with an impressive U.S. title win 1 year later. Pedron was also a successful stud who left behind an incredible legacy. He sired 770 purebred offspring, including 50 winners of national shows, 12 international champions, and over 180 others that ranked. Maidon City, $11.7 million. Although the information on Maidon City is limited, reports say the horse is a thoroughbred that sold for more than $11 million in 2006. Thoroughbred horses are known for their athletic abilities and refined appearance. Incredibly, this breed can reach top running speeds of 40 miles per hour. Maidon City was purchased by John Ferguson. John is the bloodstock manager for Sheikh Mohammed, which means he buys horses for breeding and racing on Sheikh Mohammed's behalf. Seattle Dancer, $13.1 million. The most expensive thoroughbred racehorse of 1985 was the Seattle Dancer. This Irish thoroughbred racehorse was bred in Kentucky and sold for a price of $13.1 million in July 1985 at the Keeneland Selected Sale. Sadly, Seattle Dancer died in June 2007 at the age of 23. Over the course of his career, Seattle Dancer competed in several races, including the Grand Prix de Paris, where he won second place. MHS Going Global, $13.5 million. An Irish show jumper named Greg Broderick rode Going Global at the 2016 Rio Olympics. Show jumping is a horseback riding competition where riders and horses navigate a jumping course, attempting to clear the hurdles as quickly as possible. Going Global sold for about $13.4 million shortly after competing at the 2016 Olympics. When the sale was announced, Greg Broderick said the two had shared an, quote, unbelievable journey from novice classes in Ireland to making dreams come true with the Olympic Games, end quote. Greek heiress and show jumper Athena Onassis purchased 10-year-old Irish superstar MHS Going Global. Before the sale, he competed on 10 international teams, including 2 Longines FEI Nations Cup finals in Spain. Palabet de Ha Long, $15 million. Jan Tops, an international riding school and competitive show jumping team owner, bought Palabet de Ha Long for $15 million. He is a 10-year-old Celle Francois gelding, an exception to the rule of expensive racehorses. The Palabet de Ha Long is the most skilled and most expensive show jumping horse in the world. At first, its purchase was thought to be personal, but it was soon realized that the horse was bought to compete in the Qatar CSI competition, with Ali Youssef Al Romahi as the rider. Palabet de Ha Long was developed and sold by Swiss rider Jonica Sprunger. They competed successfully at the Grand Prix level. Because of his quick rise in the jumping world and his relatively young age, many people were willing to pay top dollar for this gelding. The Green Monkey, $16 million. When you think of the most expensive horses in history, it's hard not to think of the Green Monkey. He was sold for $16 million when he was still a 2-year-old colt, making him an instant celebrity. He was a descendant of both Northern Dancer and Secretariat, so hopes were high for his racing career. Unfortunately, the Green Monkey was a grave disappointment for investors and the sport. Despite capturing that exorbitant price, the thoroughbred ended up returning less than $11,000 in prize money. He's still called the biggest waste of money on a horse ever. Annihilator, $19 million. The Annihilator, one of the highest priced horses in the world, was considered to be a very athletic horse. Thanks to its beautiful dark chocolate mane, the racehorse was also perfect for a good show. Annihilator was sold for $19 million, which means he is well deserving of a place on the list of the most expensive horses of all time. The thoroughbred racehorse only won around $3,000 in prize money. Little is known about his offspring, but it can be assumed they met with only moderate success as well. Marwan Al Shakab, $20 million. Marwan is considered the most valuable Arabian horse of all time. Its owner was offered $20 million for the stallion and turned it down. Since Marwan wasn't sold, Pedron retains the title of the most expensive Arabian horse. Sharif Dancer, $40 million. The third most expensive horse to make our list is Sharif Dancer. He was purchased in 1983 for $40 million. He raced in the UK and won 3 out of 5 races, including one Group 1 race, the Irish Derby Stakes. So, what made Sharif Dancer so expensive? In short, it was a combination of factors. The timing was right, horse racing was flourishing, and Sharif Dancer was an incredibly fast horse with impeccable bloodlines. He was descended from one of the most successful studs in history, Northern Dancer, another horse bought by the Emir of Dubai in 1983. Northern Dancer had a modest racing career, but shined as a sire. Justify, $60 million. In 2018, a thoroughbred racehorse named Justify was valued at an impressive $75 million. Justify was a chestnut son of Scat Cat. He was purchased at Keeneland's September yearling auction for $500,000. He began his racing career as a 3-year-old and was undefeated in his 6th race career, winning the Triple Crown, the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness Stakes, and the Belmont Stakes in 2018. He was only the 13th horse in history to achieve this feat, and his racing triumphs made him immensely valuable. His breeding rights were sold to Coolmore for $60 million. Combined with his $15 million in winnings, his value is $75 million. Fusoichi Pegasus, $70 million. In 2000, a horse named Fusoichi Pegasus sold for an incredible $72 million. That insanely steep price tag broke the previous world record of $40 million held by Sharif Dancer. Fusoichi Pegasus was a Kentucky Derby winner and ran just one more race after he was purchased by Ashford Stud. With such an impressive career, breeders were excited by the possibilities of this horse. Initial bids came in at $30 to $50 million, but the final sale totaled more than $70 million. Fusoichi Pegasus brought home almost $2 million. The thoroughbred won the 2000 Kentucky Derby. After retirement, he sired over 75 Global Stakes winners. Still, Fusoichi Pegasus remains labeled a disappointment considering the size of the initial investment. Amazingly, Fusoichi Pegasus was sold for just $4 million as a yearling, a star from a young age. That wraps up our list of the most expensive horses in the world. Which one of these expensive horses amazed you the most? Let us know in the comments section below.